you've been called Obroni, which means white woman. How did it make you feel the first time that they called you that?
I really have to be honest. I was upset. My feelings were hurt. I was like, I'm you. People in the United States, they believe that our history starts with slavery. There are some people who follow me, and I don't mean this in a negative way. They will never come.
How do we as women in the diaspora get the mindset of coming back home?
Too many women think that activity equals productivity. No. When I talk to people about coming to Ghana and Africa, I said, it's an investment.
Absolutely.
People do not believe until they get here that the sleep in Ghana is unmatched. I have slept so much in Ghana sometimes where my friends have stuck their finger under my nose like, is she still breathing? And from what I understand, even artists from other parts of the world in Nigeria, when they want to rest,
They come to Ghana.
they come to Ghana. But there is nothing, absolutely nothing like Africa. There's nothing like Ghana.
So from growing up in DC and Memphis, did you ever see yourself in radio? Because you studied forestry, well?
I never saw myself involved in entertainment at all.
My goodness.
My entire family. My father's a musician. My mother has a degree in music theory.
Oh.
Both of my sisters sing, and I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I was like, what am I going to do? I have to find something else to do. Never saw myself involved in radio.
Wow. Because it's been like, what?
This month, 30 years.
My gosh.
What happened?
Where did the time go?
Where did the time go? Absolutely.
But obviously you must love it, because for you to be somewhere for 30 years means that it's got to be a part of you.
And I think it's more than about radio. Okay. I don't really think it's radio necessarily, or even media. I think I got into a situation where I was helping people. And that's really why I wanted to study forestry, because I had this idea in my mind that I would go back to rural areas of Tennessee and Mississippi, and I would help these elderly people and people who the government or people were taking, advantage of, that was still sitting on all this land. So I think it's still about helping people. That's really what it came down to. And I couldn't think of anything else I could do because I couldn't sing or play any instruments. So
was forestry hard studying?
I don't know if it was necessarily hard, but it was different.
Okay.
And I was always that kid that did something different. If it was an all white affair, I was like, I'm wearing red. I'm bucking the system. You guys go do what you want to do. So I really think that it was about me doing something completely different. Growing up in the city, and I knew that I wasn't going to be in the city.
Right.
The city would probably always be a part of me, but I always knew I would do something different because most of my family, nobody left.
Wow.
Nobody did anything, really, really, really different. Right. So I knew I would do something different.
And how has it been like climbing up the ladder in corporate America?
Wow. You know what? It has been, I won't say it's been hard, but it's been different. Because I think in radio, once I reached that position of account manager or salesperson, as they call it, I thought that was it for me for a while. Until I got bored with that. And then I realized that at every step, when I got bored or I didn't feel challenged, I moved on. So when I first got into radio and I was just a lonely sales assistant, I got bored. I wrote my letter, I put it in the box of the general manager, and she was like, nope, I'm not letting you go. And then I got into, on the sales side, and I started selling. And then I was here in Ghana and I knew I was bored. And I went back. I'd already written my resignation letter right after the GUBA Awards. Yeah. No. In 2021, I wrote my letter. I wasn't going to go back. And then I'm in Dubai and I get a call. So-and-so is quitting and we want to tap you for general sales manager. I was like, I don't know.
Wow.
I'm trying to move to Ghana. I don't know. And God said, next level. But it was every time I got bored or I didn't feel challenged, something else came about.
Something else came about. But the other thing that you do is that you preach, you do wedding ceremonies. Like my sister's like an all-rounder.
I'm not Jamaican.
Like,
absolutely.
how did that happen?
So again, my stepfather was a minister. My mother is an evangelist. And I always said, oh, not me. This is not what you want unless you want the truth. And I'm assuming you guys probably don't want the truth the way that I would give it. And another thing, just a path. I was just minding my own business. And then here comes God saying, you need to do that. I was like, Lord, I was just, where I was last week. I have to keep it real if I did that. And really, it just happened. So I did that for a very long time, still do weddings and things of that nature. But when God said it was time to turn that over, I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
So storytelling hook, your first break, lessons learned, and encounter with Ludacris at your workplace.
Wow. Chris, I cannot call him Ludacris, is like a little brother. I mean, I was just with him a few weeks ago. I will tell this story. He showed up to Radio 1. It was Hot 97.5 at the time. We're now Hot 107.9. And he knocked on my door and he says, do you have an ink pen? And the first thing I did was, dude, you're here for an interview. You're here to fill out an application. You don't have an ink pen. And I just got all over him. Still gave him the ink pen. He came in my office. He filled out the application. Ended up being an intern. Someone didn't show up one day for work. He ended up being on air.
Oh my goodness.
Can't make this stuff up. And then I'm doing a radio remote at a client's place one day. And he says, can I ask you something? And I'm like, sure. He says, so I got an opportunity for a record deal. Oh. And he gave me the 2 record labels. I probably dare not say who they were. He said, what do you think? And I remember him telling me that he was going to feel like this small fish in this big pond. I said, but you're a big fish.
Yeah.
That was on a Saturday. By Monday morning, he went from being my radio talent to my client.
Oh my goodness.
Literally, because the record label president invited me to breakfast and I'm sitting there with him and in comes Ludacris and Shaka.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my, and look how big he is now.
I mean, we just always knew the first time that he ever performed at Birthday Bash, no offense to this other big artist that was performing that was supposed to be the headliner, he went over his time. And we were like, Ludacris got to perform. We literally cut his mic.
Oh my goodness.
Can't make this stuff up. If you want to know who it is, I'll tell you who it is, but we cut his mic.
Who was it?
It was Kanye. And we were like, sir, Ludacris is performing tonight, or Chris as we know him, we're going to have to get you off the stage. Oh my God. And honestly,
how did Kanye react?
He didn't come back for 10 years.
I'm not surprised.
But we weren't letting Chris miss his time, his opportunity. I mean, and we went crazy, literally.
My goodness.
And look at him now.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
Amazing. So balancing corporate media life with youth ministry.
Yes.
Like, how are you able to do it?
Oh, because I work with young people and kids every day, it seems like.
What?
I mean, you work with radio personalities, and this is not putting them down, but they always need something. Even when I'm here, people always need something. It's not like they're babies needy, but people are always needing something. I think it's easier working with the young people than it is in radio.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do. But I did that for so long. I got to tell you this. They were so important to me over those years. I guess, 14, 15 years. Wow. That when I got married, it was like 296 people. Crazy.
What?
And I turned down some of the adults because I wanted every single young person to be there.
Wow.
I wanted to make sure that they could see, the evolution, and needless to say that the marriage didn't work, but I think, the impact that I had definitely did. I get calls all the time, and the impact that it had upon them was life-changing.
Wow. What faith principles anchor you in such a high-pressured environment?
It has to be integrity, because so many things are smoke and screens when you deal with media and entertainment. And not only that, but giving people the freedom to exercise that integrity. Because I think a lot of times when people come through the door, they feel like they have to put on this face.
Right.
You have to put on this mask. You have to act a certain way. You have to be a certain way. It's the same way, not just in media, but even in ministry. You know, one of the things that I struggled with early on was I didn't sound like everybody else. I didn't look like everybody else. I didn't preach like everybody else. You know, I just wanted to be, you know, me. And I think I struggled a lot in the beginning, and I stumbled a lot. But then when I really learned to just be me, things just began to flow in a way that I couldn't even think or imagine.
Is that when you wrote the book? Pray, plan, and execute.
I think I've been building on this book for probably 13 years.
Wow.
And every year, you know, I have a movement, I guess you could call it, called Faith Board Experience, or Faith Board and Faith Board Experience. And it's a faith-based twist on a vision board. And it was all about whatever I put on this board, I have the faith that God is going to be able to do it. It makes you think a little bit deeper, right? And every year, here I am talking to people, motivating people, coaching people, preaching. And every year I would put, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book year after year after year, right? And it wasn't until COVID when I couldn't talk to people and reach people the way I wanted to, that God literally was like, you ready to write that book? You know, putting on your vision board or your faith board every year. And then my coach, because the coach has a coach, says, what's the date?
Wow.
And I
Put
said,
a date on it.
Yes. He said, a goal without a date is just a wish. Ooh. What's the date? And I said, November 7th. I wasn't even thinking, I was like, November 7th. And he said, okay. He said,
oh my
pre-sell it now and tell people November 7th. I was scared out of my mind.
Oh my goodness.
Because November 7th, it wasn't done.
Oh my goodness.
And I had already, you know, started publicizing that I'm going live on November 7th. I got this announcement.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't done.
It wasn't ready.
And then I got the book done. And then I said, the book will be released this year. You'll get your book. December 31st, it wasn't up on Amazon.
Oh my goodness.
11:30 a.m. on December 31st, it wasn't up. 1 p.m., it wasn't up. 2 p.m., it wasn't up. I went in my closet. I said, God, you said.
Yeah.
And by 4 o'clock, it was up.
Wow. And how was that feeling, like having your book out
my goodness.
for the first time?
You know, the book was one thing, Denta, but the faith that it took to not give up.
Oh.
And, you know, to have hundreds of copies of it already sold.
Wow.
And telling people that, hey, on December 31st, it'll be up on Amazon. You know, I'll be able to get the copy, send them to you. I think it was more so about, look at God.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly. It was more so that than anything.
You've been very intentional about helping Black women. What has inspired that?
So, you know, I was married for many years and I poured myself into that. You know, my ex-husband had a set of goals. I put everything that I wanted to do on the back burner to make sure that he could get there and to accomplish those things. Primarily, I'll be honest, because of some things that I had learned and that I had seen and pushed the man, you know, to the top. But then I woke up one day, you know, just before I was divorced, and I had all of these things that I wanted to do. And I hadn't even touched them.
Wow.
And I said to myself, self, it wasn't because you couldn't, but it was because you didn't. You probably could have figured it out, but you poured yourself. Not that that was wrong at all. But one of the things that I try, you know, to impose upon women is you can't do it all. You can't have it all, but you can definitely put a dent in it. You can definitely check some things off of the list, you know, one at a time, even while you're helping everybody else. I guess you could call it a scare tactic, call it what you want, fear of missing out. And that I tell women in my coaching program, you know, all the time is don't let your dreams get buried. You can help your kids. You can be the soccer mom. You can be the, you know, the homeroom mom. You can be the excellent wife. You can be all of these things, but build in time for yourself to accomplish the things that you want to do.
Wow, that's so important.
Absolutely.
And you don't realize how time runs so fast.
Oh, wow. Absolutely.
Like, you just blink. Your son is about to leave you.
In a week for his last year in college, I just dropped him off, it seems like. But I will tell you this, even I'll never forget when I got ready to come to the GUBA Awards. I was moving, things were everywhere. And for some reason, I knew I had to be here. And I remember sitting on the plane, crying to leave, crying to go back. And Bryce texted me. He said, listen, Mom, I'm leaving. I'm going to school. Who knows if I'm coming back? Oh, go live your life.
Oh my God.
You got to do this for yourself. And this is what I'm preaching to all these other people. And here my son is saying,
wow.
Go live your life.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bryce is such an amazing kid.
I mean,
you've really nurtured such an amazing boy. How do we as women in the diaspora get the mindset of coming back home?
Oh, wow. I really think you have to put things to the side that you've learned or heard. I say this all the time, on social media and on posts. Europe is cool. It's a cool place, right?
Yeah.
The Caribbean is beautiful, but there is nothing, absolutely nothing like Africa. There's nothing like Ghana, but we're not taught that. For me, I will be honest, until I came to Ghana, it was out of reach. It was out of mind. It was the Jamaicas and the Cancuns and the Bahamas. Again, nothing wrong with those places. But people had told me, when you get to Africa and your feet touch the ground, something's going to happen. But you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You don't know until you get here, and you literally want to fall out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Face down and kiss the ground. You don't know. And one of the things that I really want to do, if I had to say, what would I want to do? What would I want to leave? What would I want people to say? I would really like for people to say that she normalized people thinking about Africa like they think about these other countries.
Right.
When they think about going on holiday or vacation, it's not just the European countries. It's not just the Caribbean countries. You think about taking your children to Africa.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that comes with a lot of what you're doing already. Yeah. You have been doing it, and you have brought a lot of people with you, which is amazing because you have had that experience.
Absolutely.
Before you came, what were you hearing about Africa?
All the negative things, if I can be really, really honest. Everybody's poor. Everybody's desolate. They all want something from you. They don't like African Americans. Why would you go there? They don't consider you to be African. Oh, goodness, I could go on and on and on. It wasn't a thought because of the things that I'd heard. And if I can be really, really honest, some of the people that I had encountered in the States from Africa, and, our conversations or our interactions, but I understand so much more now. I understand that at least I believe that wedge is placed there on purpose. It really is. You can go to Europe $600-$700, and it costs you have to invest. When I talk to people about coming to Ghana and Africa, I said it's an investment.
Absolutely. You've been to over 21 countries, but you've come to Ghana how many times now?
16, 17, I don't know. I lost count. I said I gotta stop counting, and I still haven't learned everything.
Wow. What pulls you back, would you say?
People and the peace. People do not believe until they get here that the sleep in Ghana is unmatched.
Sleep.
I have slept so much in Ghana sometimes where my friends have stuck their finger under my nose like, is she still breathing? And from what I understand, even artists from other parts of the world and Nigeria, when they want to rest,
they come to Ghana.
And the people are just, obviously you. I mean, I've met some of the best friends of my lifetime right here in Ghana. It's just, it's magnetic. Yeah. And we leave somebody here almost every time we bring a group. They're like, yeah, I'm going to stay another week. I'm going to stay. I'll be back. Or, like the last journey. She was like, yeah, I'm going to stay three more weeks.
We're doing something great.
Yes.
And I think, we started this thing, Welcome to the Motherland. Obviously, you were doing Go Travel Chick.
Yeah.
But tell us about that and how that happened.
Sure. So I had been coming back and forth to Ghana, and, I would go live and I would be trying to convince people to come on their own. And my uncle Charles would be
Yes.
watching me. And every time he would say, don't go back to Ghana without me. And I'm like, people say that all the time. Oh, I want to go. Let me know when you go next time. And I remember being live and he said, did not tell you not to go back without me. So I remember calling you and I said, I'm thinking maybe my Uncle Charles, maybe a couple other folks, maybe, 3, 4, 5 max. This is Ghana, not Cancun.
Yeah.
As we know, that turned into 17 people. Our minds were blown. It wasn't even a sell.
Yeah.
It was, they say not a sell, but a tell, because I was telling people,
Right.
about it, and just the diverse group of people. Some of those folks, they didn't even know me.
Yeah.
They just followed me on
on
social,
social, yeah.
and they ended up here. They had the time of their life. We looked at each other like, we got to keep doing this.
Absolutely.
Like, we have to keep it going. And we've been learning,
Yeah.
along the way. But it's been a phenomenal experience because we're exposing more. And we know that one will tell somebody, will tell someone, will tell somebody else. And it will just keep growing like that.
Absolutely. One of the things that I'm proud about when it comes to our journeys is the fact that we always infuse a give back in there.
A must.
So tell us about some of the give backs that we've done, even though I know.
You do. But even before we talk about the give back, I want to really say thank you, because the give back for me means so much because of our visit to former President John Kufuor's house. Sitting there, I don't think I really understood it at that time.
Wow.
I don't think it really, kicked in and soaked in until I got home, and I was like, I was in the home of the former president of Ghana.
Yes.
Because I was in the right place at the right time with the right people.
Yes.
And, we all got a chance to ask him something, and he's a funny but very humble, man.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, like, what can I do? Like, I already knew that I wanted to come back again on that. That was my second, journey. And to paraphrase what he said, he basically said, don't just do it for the gram. Like, get here, get out amongst the people, talk to people, find out what you can do, to give back. And for some people, it's their talent. For some people, it might be their time. And for other people, it might be their money. But figure out what it is. And from that journey, I knew that I could not come back here, whether it was a solo trip, a relaxation trip, or even a group trip, without giving back. It is absolutely so, so important to me, because I feel like I get something every time I come. And if we're continuously taking in and making deposits and not withdrawing and giving, that doesn't work.
And also the support that you get from America. I remember some of the donations. Every day you're like, another box is here, another box is here.
And people wouldn't believe it unless I showed it.
Yeah.
There are some people who follow me, and I don't mean this in a negative way. They will never come. I get it. They won't come. There's some people who told me they, don't have a desire to come, but they'll give.
Wow.
But what I believe is if they give, right, and they know about it, eventually they're going to tell somebody about it, and then they may come, or their children may come.
Absolutely.
So I'm absolutely fine with that. But yeah, the outpouring, I can do one video and say, hey, we're going here, we're going there, this is what they need. And people just start to show up. They really start.
When you do your lives, what are the typical questions that people are asking you, like about Africa, about Ghana?
Is it safe? Is it welcoming? Is the food spicy?
Yes, it is. She suffers with that.
Right? Is it really hot all the time? I'm like, no, and no, and no. The safety question, it's not offensive to me, but why do you automatically just think that it's unsafe, especially in Ghana, with Ghana being the safest, definitely in the top 3 safest countries in Africa. And then when they refer to Ghana as like a city, sir, ma'am, it's a whole country. Like, Africa is a continent, right? Those are the types of questions I definitely get. Can I become a citizen?
Okay.
I'm just going to come out. I'd like to become a citizen. Are they giving away free land still? Like,
oh my goodness. I know in some instances, Cori, you've been called Obroni, which means white woman. How did it make you feel the first time that they called you that?
I really have to be honest. I was upset. My feelings were hurt. I was like, I'm you. You are me. And it seems just so far out for me. Like, white person? Really?
Yeah.
You know, down to the point where people ask me about my parents. And
Wow.
and it happened on the very first trip. And it happened today. You know, at this point now, I think I've gotten past the hurt and, you know, being upset because I feel more comfortable, I think, being here.
Yeah.
When you first come here, you know, as an American, as a diasporan, as a Black American, whatever you want to call it, you almost feel like you want to fit in so bad.
Right.
You know, you want to feel part of the culture, part of the African community. So to be called that, it made me feel like an outsider. It almost made me feel like I was being pushed out.
No, so they don't mean it in that way. So even with me, they call me Obroni, which is, you know, like kind of like dark white kind of thing.
Okay.
But for them, it doesn't mean anything bad. It's colonization. It's, you know, what the white people left us. They made it seem that white was the best. And actually, so then when they're calling you white, it's actually a positive thing for them.
Interesting.
But it's obviously, it's not positive for you because of where you're coming from. But I get called Brony. Yeah, it's in music. It's in like some of the legends. Yeah, it's like Black Beauty, but like white.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I make sure I never wear my hair natural in Ghana because my hair is curly. And I remember being at the ATM in Labone one day, and this little boy, he was leaving school, and he came up behind me. He said, Brony. And I turned around and I was like, what? And he was, auntie. I'm so sorry. And my hair was curly, and he did this.
Wow.
And I was like, never again.
Even a lot of light-skinned people, a lot of Fantis, you know, are quite light like yourself, and they would call them that. But it's not in a bad way. Okay. So don't take it in a bad way. This is something that I think we need to be teaching them.
Yes.
You know, this all comes with education.
Right.
So I think that's what we need to be doing more.
Good. You educated me.
Yes. What's the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself through this journey?
Oh, wow. That there is a world outside of, I think, the things that we've grown up knowing. You know, I love my mother. She would probably never come to Africa. And that's okay, right? Yeah. It's definitely okay. But one of the, you know, the lessons that I've learned is just thinking outside of the things that you are told over and over and over again. Every time I come to Ghana, I learn something new. I just learned something new, right? Yeah. We have to think like that. People in the United States, primarily, I'm going to say, most people, I dare say most people, they believe that our history starts with slavery. There's so much that happened before that. Yeah. Kings, queens, and still kings and queens. They can't wrap their mind around it. So when you're saying, you know, colonization, and it's what, you know, they think in their heads and they believe, it's the same way in the States. They think to tell them that you live in a normal home is a stretch to get people to believe. To tell people that everybody is not broke and desolate and or begged, it's a long stretch. Have you seen the cars
that I hear?
That part. The homes, the cars, the business owners. I will go out of my way to support a Ghanaian business. A Black business, owners, the studio, Nakori Studios. You know, we've contacted several people in the United States about TV shows and things like that. And we haven't given up on that, but we have to. Yeah. We have to do that because it's so easy for us to support other people.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's so easy for us to do that. We need to live hard, right? Yeah. We need to invest harder. We need to believe harder. And I use that word harder, meaning go a little bit out of our way. Yeah. It's okay to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you introduce someone to Cori, that's it.
That's it.
She literally goes all out and supports the cause. And that's something about you that's so inspiring. Like even with my sister's like, oh my God, your friend, she bought my lipstick. Oh my God. You're just so supportive and we love that about you. If you could speak directly to the next generation of young women, what would you say to them?
I would say, don't wait to start doing things for you. And it's okay to do that. I think growing up, I would, because I grew up in a very religious household, so a servant's heart.
Yeah.
And there is nothing wrong with being a servant, right? But don't forget about yourself, because any and everything you're doing, people are watching you. So my son said to me, again, he pushed me, on that journey to Ghana. But what he also said was, I saw a totally different you when you started doing things for yourself.
Wow.
He said, Mom, you were doing everything for me, everything for Dad. You were doing everything for church and everything for the kids at church. He said, but I really gained, and this is my son speaking to a group of people. I gained a new level of respect for my own mother when she wrote the book. When she started doing things for herself, when she took her first solo trip to Barcelona all by herself and was like, I'm gone. See ya. I'll be back, in 9 days. So don't wait to do things for yourself because you think that it's cute to always be busy. Too many women think that activity equals productivity. No, not at all. So don't wait to do it for yourself and don't feel guilty about it.
Let's talk about Bryce. You did that first trip with him to Ghana. How was that for you, bringing your son to Ghana, something that you've preached, and finally you brought your son?
Absolutely. Very emotional. Bryce was traveling with me at the age of 3. Wow. I think his first trip was the Grand Cayman. I had him on my hip. I still can see the picture now. And I would sacrifice nails, hair, you name it, to take him to these different places because my parents either couldn't or just couldn't see it. Right. We went places, but, we went to Arkansas. We went to Mississippi. We went to these different places. And I would save and we would go somewhere. And I would save and we would go somewhere. So when Bryce got ready to go to school and he said, hey, I think I'm going to go to the school in Rome. And I'm thinking to myself, babe, we did not see any schools in Rome, Georgia. What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Like, and you want to play soccer. So he says, no, Mom, I think I'm going to Italy. I literally, my knees buckled.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking to myself, I did this to myself. So I was coming back and forth to Ghana. And I remember he was home one time and he said, you know what? I got to go and see what's up with this Ghana. What is this Ghana? And his friend was there who ended up coming with him, Marcus. They've been friends for probably 11 or 12 years. And they both came. The turning point of that journey, and I could just see him wide-eyed, the whole time, was when we got to the ancestral river. And 2 years before that, I had wrote my name and his name on the wall. And it was still there.
It was still there.
And he couldn't believe it. He said, I know you told me. But again, it goes back to that until you see it for yourself. It really doesn't you got to get here for yourself, right? And that journey, he and Mark, they will never forget that. They become walking billboards for me now at this point. Never forget it. So Marcus's mom will be coming with us next September.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
And we have a trip of 20 people.
They will be here in 36 hours, I guess.
Wow.
We have a trip of 20 people that will be landing on the continent for the very first time.
And one is a family?
Family of 7.
Wow.
And I work with one. She told a cousin told a brother, told a sister, told a family, and a family of 7 all coming together. Amazing.
What do you think makes our trips different that people should come and experience it?
The first thing is, I think we think beyond what everybody else does. Everybody is going to go to the door of no return. Everybody is going to go to the, probably the city tour. But then it's those little things that we do the connections that you have, where we can walk them into these other little offices and they can meet the charities of the world. It's those things I think that they never ever forget. It's the things that we do leading up to making sure that everybody is prepared. Because when I tell you the WhatsApp chat is on fire today,
oh my goodness,
it is absolutely on fire.
There's a countdown.
It is absolutely the countdown. It's those little things, making sure that they have what they need, and then if they don't, going the extra mile.
And the website is welcometothe-motherland.com. As simple as that. What's next for Cori? Are we going to write a new book? What are we up to?
So Bryce has one more year in school, and the plan, and I don't know how, they know this at Radio Y, I say it all the time. Right now, we're supposed to work within a certain mile radius, but I have a plan, and I want to be here no less than part-time.
Wow.
No less. I want a place of my own. I want to be able to leave my things and come back and say, I'm going home, to Ghana. That is definitely on the list. We definitely have not just a book on the way, but you've seen I've been doing some TV appearances in the States, and a lot of different speaking engagements that will be coming. Who knows what God has planned for me? I'll just keep putting one foot in front of the other and not getting ahead of God. Yeah.
What's your favorite African dish?
Jollof, but not too spicy. I have certain places that I like to get my jollof. But you know what? I can do way more spice in Ghana than I can do anywhere else, because the spice in Ghana is flavorful.
Yeah.
So in the States, it's always like, who can put the most ghost peppers?
Yeah.
In something, who can make it the spiciest? I can taste the garlic.
Yeah.
I can taste the cumin. I can taste the paprika.
Yeah.
So I can take way more spice here than I can take anywhere
you're
else.
doing much better than when you first came.
Way better.
Okay. First place you'll take a first timer to Ghana?
Republic.
Well, I should have known.
You want the truth, or you want me to make it, sound good?
No.
I'm probably going to take them to Republic.
Oh my goodness.
It's my favorite
She
spot.
takes people to Republic when it's raining.
Yes.
She will still sit out there.
That's right.
And have fun at Republic.
Absolutely.
I know you love Republic. Okay. Yes. All right. One scripture that guides your journey.
Ooh. Psalm 27:14, the Lord is my light and my salvation, of whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid?
Oh, that's your favorite?
Yeah, one
of them.
Yes, that's one of them.
Yeah. I love that. And one lesson that you've learned that you would like to share with the diaspora so they don't make that same mistake?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't even say, some people say, do your research. No, just get here. Just come. Don't listen to all of the things you hear, because you will go down a rabbit hole really fast. Just put it all out of your mind and see for yourself.
Come and see for yourself. It's been a lovely conversation with my business partner, friend, sister, finally in the studio with me, but we are going on a journey. We've just started, and it's welcome to the motherland. Thank you so much for watching.